Doing a little live stream right now. I don't know really why, but that's what's going on. So um, I've got Brady here, and Brady, introduce yourself to everybody and tell them what's going on.
What's up, guys? I'm Brady. I am the guy that took all the Mallywhacker guys on a couple hunts. I don't know, about a month ago.
Yeah,
Uh, how long have I been on the team now? Maybe 5 months, probably since the beginning of the season.
since we took on Pro Staff.
Yeah, it's been a while. So it's been a fun season. It's been good having all the Mallywhacker guys out and ready to do it again for sure.
Yeah, so you just started a YouTube channel too, which I'm
Yeah.
super stoked about because I like you enough to watch your videos. So yeah, why don't you tell them what you're gonna be doing with your channel?
So I did start a YouTube channel. It's called Countryside. We're kind of just doing. We started a little late in the hunting season, but we are doing like duck and goose hunting videos right now. And then on the off season, I'll probably do some fishing videos, but mostly like how tos and stuff like that. So, but it's going good.
I'm gonna try and get this pulled up. There we go. I'm gonna put a link in here.
Lincoln.
I'm gonna put a link
Oh,
for your channel. It's in the chat right now. So if you guys see the link, that's Brady's channel. So go subscribe to him. He's the one who put us on the 14-man limit over in Colorado, and then the pit blind where everybody said we were sky busting, but that was not sky. Well, okay,
I busted.
it wasn't really sky busting. They were 35, 40 yards up, but they weren't going to decoy. Those
No,
birds were so stale, they were not going to decoy.
there was so much wind that day too. The birds just kind of hovered. They'd get right above the decoys and then just kind of hover.
Yeah, and we were trafficking at that spot too, so there was really no reason for them to go into that field. They just kind of came in, saw the decoys, came low, and then
Yep.
we shot what we shot.
Those angles from that camera though made it look so much further than what it really was.
That's how it usually goes though. Like most of the time, like I'm shooting birds 25, 30 yards, but the GoPro will make it look like it's 60-yard shot. And then everybody in the comments going, "You're a sky buster, put those 3.5-inch shells away, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, it's not sky busting. The GoPro just makes it look a lot farther. And you're not going to get birds to decoy every single time. A lot of times, birds, they're going to circle once and then go. So if you don't take them on that first pass, your chances are pretty slim that they're going to come back. At least that's how it's been the past couple weeks for me. Is like the birds come in, they take a look, they come real low, and then they pull up and go away. Like we try on some groups to try and get them to work back around, but it never really happens. Do you ever have that happen, Brady?
Oh yeah. Today or no, yesterday we went hunting yesterday, and just every group we had an enormous spread, probably 50 dozen decoys. Look beautiful. Our hide was awesome, and just every bird would cup up and get about 50 yards and just kind of stay there and then just head off. Like it's like right now, all of our birds are like they've seen everything and know everything, so it's just kind of like they're all shy. Every single one of them is shy, and it's been like that for like the last month, basically since you guys have been here. So it's been crazy, but it's been also tough. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's been a tough season for us too. I mean, started off, public land looked awesome. Everything grew up good during the summertime. In the fall, it flooded. We were super stoked because we haven't had a year like that in forever.
Yeah.
And then season opens, there was no ducks for like 2 weeks, and then for probably 2 weeks after the Southeast Zone opened, up until about Thanksgiving, it was decent. It wasn't like super great, but then after Thanksgiving, everything locked up with ice, and we couldn't touch public land. And you know, 2 years ago, we had an awesome season on public land because it was cold enough to where ducks were coming, but it wasn't cold enough for the marshes to freeze. And we were killing ducks in the marsh up until the second opener, or for the opener of the second part of season.
Right.
And then after that opener day, everything locked up.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for another year like that to come up.
Yeah, I'm hoping for another year like we had this year, but I don't think that's going to happen for a long time. We had an insane amount of birds in my area, and I've the years that I've hunted waterfowl, I've done it for a long time, and I've never seen. You've seen it, like you
Yeah.
saw it, and I've never seen that many geese in my life. Just every like main like major reservoir we had was just packed full of geese. It was insane.
Yeah, so I want to open this up to you guys who are watching to go ahead and leave some comments, and we'll see if we can answer some of them. But let's just start off. Today's Super Bowl Sunday. So Brady, who do you think? Who are you rooting for, buddy?
I'm definitely rooting for the Eagles. I don't want the Patriots to win another Super Bowl.
That's it?
I'm a Titans fan though, so I wish the Titans were in it.
Yeah.
I saw. Go ahead.
A lot of people probably expect me to like be super into football, but I'm not. I don't watch sports on TV like ever. I do not. It's not my thing. So I could care less who wins the Super Bowl. I'm going Eagles because Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know, he's got enough Super Bowl wins, so let's give it to somebody who hasn't won a Super Bowl before. So, you know, I'm not super into sports, believe it or not. It's not my thing. I'd rather just be outside duck hunting, fishing, whatever.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I played golf in high school, so I guess I'm not that big into sports, but I do enjoy watching football.
Yeah, I wrestled in high school. That was fun. I played football for 2 years, and you know, I wasn't that great. So I played football my freshman year. I played center, and
you played center?
Yeah, I played center.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was the short, fat kid freshman year, and then, you know, I wrestled my freshman year and lost 20 pounds, and then I come back sophomore year to play football again, still playing center at 150 pounds and 5'10", and it just didn't work out, and I wasn't fast. You could time me on a calendar for running, so I just called it quits for football after my sophomore year, playing the bench, and just spent most of my time in the wrestling room.
Nice. I know Luke played football, didn't he?
Yeah, he played football. He wrestled. He was a cheerleader.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he was a cheerleader.
Yeah, he was a cheerleader. I didn't know if people wanted to know that, but oh, that's awesome. When the first time I heard him say that, I was like, "What?"
All right, I'm gonna go through these comments here. You keep them entertained.
Okay. So yeah, Luke, the guy that says "How you doing?" Big 6'5" guy. He was a cheerleader.
Not 6'5".
Yes, he is. I'm 6'2", and he's a lot taller than me. So
No, he's not. He's like 6'1".
I'm 6'2", and he's taller than me.
Okay, here's a good question, Brady. What's
Let's
more important, decoy spread or calling?
Ooh, that's kind of tough. I would. What are you gonna say? You go first.
I would say decoy spread all the way.
I would definitely say decoy spread.
I'm thinking decoy spread because, you know, there's a lot of times where you can kill birds without even touching your calls.
Yep.
And your decoy spread kind of says it all. But I don't know. They're complementary. You can't pick one over the other because you can call birds into a bad decoy spread. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, I've seen it. Like, we've had days, you know us, we run ginormous goose spreads. And
Huge.
I've seen days where we'll be wailing on them. There's 10 of us in the blind. We wailing on them, and birds just won't work. And then the second we put our calls away, then birds are working. So I definitely think if you have a good deep decoy spread, you can kill birds more than if you didn't have calls, if you get what I'm trying to say.
My dad just sent me an NPR thing here, like just now. He said the title of his hunter knocked unconscious by falling dead goose shot by his hunting party. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? How can you let that like, I understand you could, like, if you're in a layout blind, it's hard to get out of the way, but unconscious? Holy crap.
Have you seen that video? The dude's like laying in the blind. They have like 20,000 snows coming, and the guy just throws up his arm and catches the snow out of the air.
No, I saw the one where it was like a teal or something and buzzed him over the blind. He caught it.
Yeah, the other night we were hunting. Like, kind of, it's been warm in Colorado, like kind of unusually warm. So the other day, like, one of my ponds, like, there's an ice hole left in it that the birds kept open, but all the birds we were shooting were landing on the ice. So we brought a little boat out to like go break up the ice and go get the birds. And it was like 6 o'clock, like pitch black by the time we got out of there. And birds were buzzing us, and a goldeneye almost hit Trenton and Trevor. Oh man, them birds were flying so dang fast. It was funny. We got more
Here's a
questions.
good one. Here's a good question. What kind of shells do you use? I get that question all the time. And if it's in my bag, I'm going to shoot it, whether it's heavy metals or Federals or Winchesters or Remington. I don't really care as long as it's a shotgun shell that I can shoot at ducks. But my go-to is just Winchester Super X. They're like $12 a box. Yep. So they get the job done. A lot of people have been hating on Federals, and I don't know why. When I had my Supernova, I absolutely loved shooting Federals out of that gun.
Really?
What do you think, Brady?
I definitely shoot Super X too. It's affordable, and I don't know. You might like Federals, but I don't. I've always had really bad problems with Federals.
Why?
But I also shoot the best that I could shoot when I can afford it. So if I can make a trip up to Cabellas and buy heavy metal, I'd buy heavy metal any day. But it's usually not the case, so I just shoot Super X.
Yeah. Okay, Brady, you're the goose hunting master apparently. So this guy's wanting to have some goose hunting tips for right now. Probably going to be big honkers, not lessers.
Apparently, I don't know anything about honkers, huh?
No, you just had a bunch of chickens running around up there when I came.
I had nothing but lessers when we were up there, dude.
They're fun.
We got the big birds now, though. So he wants to know goose tips.
Yeah.
Just like basic tips.
Yeah, just basic.
I would definitely say like off season is like a must. Like you gotta save money. Like everyone knows that like being a good waterfowl hunter takes a lot of money because you gotta have like the goose spread, you gotta have like the best decoys. I would say the best decoys and as many decoys as you want. And then your hide is huge in goose hunting. I think goose hunting is a little more. You got to be a little more well hidden than duck hunting. I don't know, because like duck hunting, if you're in the marsh, you can have a big wooden thing out in the middle of the pond, and ducks will still finish over your decoys. But it's not really that way with goose or geese. So I definitely would say your hide, your spread, and like do your work and your practice over the summer.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing I could say to do is just scout. If you can get where the birds want to be, you go out the night before you're going to go hunt. You find a field, you get on the field, and then the next morning you set up where they left off feeding. The chances of your success are way better than if you just set up in some random field that you seen geese flying by. Mm-hmm. Because you need, I'd say to traffic, you need a huge spread, and you need to just do whatever you can to get their attention. And they're probably not going to commit as well as they would in that other field that they went to that night before. Mm-hmm. And, I've got personal experience with this where we're trafficking birds. I'd say probably half the field hunts this year with geese have been trafficking. And, that's why we're not killing 6-man limits of geese. But, you can definitely do it. It's a little more difficult, and the birds tend to just kind of veer off to the side and then go to where they're going. But if you're on the field where they want to be, hold on to your pants because it's going to get rowdy.
Right. I agree. And when you came down to Colorado for the first time, it kind of showed that perfectly because I found that first field like that we went to the second day that we shot the 14-man off of. We found that, did 8 hours of scouting, and we shot a 14-man off of it. But that first morning, we kind of got screwed over, did no scouting, found a field, and shot like 6 geese or something like that. So that really goes to show scouting does a lot of work.
Okay. Looking back, how would you say your season went? Okay, I'll take this one. On a 1 to 10 ratio or scale here, I would say this season was probably like a 5.
What?
Yeah, well, 5. It's probably the worst season I've had in the past 3 years because it was warm. Public land was crap. We lost some ponds due to leasing by guide services that we hunted last year, and so that got leased out, so we couldn't hunt those in those ponds. You could go there every day and kill limited ducks. It was awesome, but you know, we worked hard this season, and it really never paid off super great. We got on some good fields, and we got permission on them back in like August. We were like, okay, these fields are going to hold birds. Let's get on these, and we've had a few good hunts out of them, which that's a plus. But you know, overall speaking, it wasn't that great of a season. We could have done better, but you know, it's just kind of how it goes sometimes. Some years are better than others. Brady's had a different story though.
I would say an 11 out of 10 for sure. This has been my best goose season for sure. We've shot a 14-man, a 13-man, like 5 or 6 9-men. It's been insane, and we just have not lost birds. Like every day I have people texting me like, you still have birds? And I'm like, yeah, like they still haven't left. And sometimes I'm thinking like, oh, this field doesn't have birds anymore. We lost all our birds. But it's not true. We still have a lot of birds, and they're still all working. So it's been an insane year and an unusual year. So
okay, so what there's a question that says, what is the best way to get started for, what's it say here? It says, what would you say is the best way to get started for a beginner for the next season? You know, it's difficult because, you know, I've been stuck in this little bubble up until this year of hunting, you know, primarily just around here, and then maybe traveling just, you know, an hour here, an hour there to go duck hunting. And this year I took a trip to Colorado, and that really just kind of blew my mind. You know, I was stuck in this bubble of, you know, this is how we do it here, and you know, that's how it's done everywhere, right? But no, when I went to Colorado, I was like, oh my God, this is way different than back home. So it's hard to say, but the basic rules of duck hunting, the rules, I should write a rule book of duck hunting, just the, you know, but generally speaking, get yourself 1 to 2 dozen floater decoys, mallards. Don't worry about wood duck decoys or anything else. Just get like 1 to 2 dozen mallard decoys, floaters, and then get waders, a gun, and learn how to call over the summer, and be there in the marsh when it's open and it's in season. And you know, you can scout the marsh and figure out where the birds want to be and set up there, call them in, and bang bang. It's pretty simple.
Yep.
A lot of people make it more complicated than it should be. What do you think, Brady?
I would definitely say to find a friend.
Yeah, find a friend who duck hunts.
Yeah, find a friend or a family member that's done it before and knows kind of what they're doing, and then go from there. It's a lot easier when you, or even if you have a buddy that doesn't know what he's doing, it's good to have him around so you guys can both learn and kind of learn off of each other too.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got another question saying, would you recommend buying an expensive duck call? But we'll expand it out to duck and goose calls. And I'll start. I would say if you're just starting out, don't worry about it. Just stick with one of those $30 polycarbs. There's no point. I've still got a polycarb that I use sometimes, but I love my acrylic calls, and I don't think I'll ever really stray away from acrylic. I'm not a huge fan of wood calls. I like my acrylic calls. And with duck calls in particular, I love my acrylic single reed. Mm-hmm. And when you tune your call just right to the way you like it, everybody likes their calls tuned up just a little bit differently. And when you have a call that you like and you blow it enough, it's going to become just grab it and go. So I would say that an expensive duck call would be worth it if it's something that you're interested in, and if it's something that you're going to use regularly. I mean, it's not like it's going to go bad or anything. So it's more of an investment. And right. I would recommend making that investment to an acrylic call. You know, R&T makes some great calls, and I love the R&T short barrel. I don't own one. Adam has one, but I love that call, but it does freeze up pretty easy. So single reed or a double reed, that's up to you whether you prefer a single reed. Brady, I know you have a few acrylic calls.
I do. I would definitely say that, like, beginning, if you just pick up like an acrylic single reed goose call, or I mean a single acrylic.
Oh, they make double reed goose calls?
That's not what I meant. I'm saying, like, if you're a beginner and you pick up an acrylic single reed duck call, you're not going to be able to make the sound that you would on like a $30 like polycarb goose or duck call. So I definitely think it's better to start with those cheap ones that you just buy at Walmart and learn how to make the sound before you go and waste $160 on like a zinc call or something. But I definitely think they're worth the price that you pay. Once you buy one, you never really go back. I have 5 or 6 of them sitting on my lanyard right now, so you never go back.
Yeah, that's true. What are your thoughts on hunting with dogs?
Had some rough experiences and some good experiences for sure.
Yeah.
But honestly, I honestly, I don't know if you're the same, but I like getting out of my layout blind and going and grabbing up birds. I think it's great. But having a dog to like chase like far like sailors, that's fantastic. But when you have a bad dog that's jumping at birds and running into the decoys and can't get back,
Trying to catch the birds.
yeah, it's rough. I don't really like that very much. So I kind of go 50-50 sometimes.
Yeah, I've hunted with one good dog,
Mm,
I think. One I don't know. I don't know enough about bird dogs or anything, but
yeah.
I know for a fact, in my personal opinion, I've hunted with one good dog, and that was with Dylan's dog, and she's not even a year old yet, and that was a few weeks ago. But if I'm able to hunt with a well-trained, well-behaved dog that doesn't break, cool. Let's take the dog out, go shoot some birds, have them retrieve. But I do like going out and retrieving birds, except for the really far ones, or they do come in handy on like big lakes or ponds when the water gets deep and you can't get the bird with your waders. The dog does come in handy. But if I had to choose between hunting with a dog and without a dog, at this point right now, I would say I would prefer hunting without a dog. That's just kind of my personal opinion.
I agree. I wish I could see the questions.
You just pull it up on the internet there.
Oh, on YouTube?
Yeah. Just make sure you pause it so it doesn't play.
Oh, pause the live stream.
Yeah, not like this one, but on the internet there. Let's see. You guys got any questions for me that are just burning in your heart to ask me? All 19, 20 of you guys. You guys are just, it seems like you guys are just talking to yourselves in the comments. Good goose recipes. I've had it a few different ways. Enchiladas are good, barbecue sandwiches. You can just cook it like a steak. That's okay. It's okay. I wouldn't recommend it. You can jerk it. Brady's the jerky master.
I am. I like jerky. That's really all I do. I put it through a meat grinder and then mix it with, like, I put goose through a meat grinder, then I put pork through a meat grinder, mix it all up, let it cure for a couple days, and then dehydrate it. Pretty simple, and it tastes a lot better than a goose steak, that's for sure.
Okay, does getting different species help with the realism of a spread?
What? Say that one more time.
Does adding different species of duck decoys into your spread make it look more real?
I guess.
I'd say I guess so, but I only own like a dozen teal decoys, and then the rest are mallard decoys for floaters. So most of the time, if you just have mallard decoys out, you're going to be fine. I'm not a huge believer in like a big diverse spread. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I love decoys and I love full body decoys and floater decoys or whatever. But if you just set out a spread of mallard decoys, you're going to do just fine. I don't think the different types of ducks really makes that big a difference.
I agree. I have like a half a dozen teal in my 6 dozen, 7 dozen floaters, mallard floaters that I have, and works just fine. I really don't think it matters that much.
Oh, okay. What gun did I start with? I started with a Mossberg 500, and
Nice.
it did good for a while, and then it just kind of stopped working right. I still have it, and it's kind of there if I need it or somebody else needs a gun. It doesn't. It's a very finicky gun, but it still works. Would I recommend getting a Mossberg 500? Probably not, just because it didn't really last that long. So if you're looking at getting a gun, go ahead and pay $500 and get a Supernova.
Yep.
That's yeah, you can get a pump action gun for like $250, $300, like a Remington or a Mossberg. But if you just pay that extra $200 and get a Supernova, that gun's going to last you a lot longer, and you're going to enjoy shooting it a lot more. And they come in synthetic stocks. They got the Supernova's got that ComfortTech stock and Chambers 3.5-inch shells. It's just you get what you pay for, and if you want something that's going to last you a little longer, I would recommend going with something a little more higher end. I know 870s. Some people say they're good. Some people say they're bad. I have no experience with them, but I know for a fact I loved my Supernova to death, and I would recommend that gun to anybody.
Yep. I started with an 870, and I'm still using an 870.
What do you think of it?
I think they're great guns, especially in Colorado. It gets awfully cold in Colorado, and shooting a pump 870 is better than shooting like a crappy semi-auto. I've had zero problems with that gun all year. So
Yeah, and out in Colorado, the soil is so dry and it's sandy.
Yep.
And it gets into every little crevice of everything.
Yep.
And so how's it hold up to that?
Yeah, like I said, I'm a Remington guy, so I'll probably never ever buy anything other than that. But my 870 has never had any problems. I do take good care of it, but it works when I need it to work. And you could put it underneath water and still shoot a shell out of it.
Do you know that from experience?
No.
You do.
Oh man.
Yeah, so when I was in Colorado the second time when we were hunting with Outlaw, I somehow, some way, managed to get dirt in the barrel of my gun, and it just kind of fell right into the action. And it wasn't, in Kansas that it's just going to get stuck in the end and you got to poke it out or whatever. But in Colorado, the soil is so loose and sandy, it just fell right into the action. And I tried to just pull the bolt back and put a new shell in, and you can shoot once and then it'll stop. It won't even eject it. So I field stripped my gun. I put all the parts into a Goose shell and took one of these lens wipes and cleaned my gun with a lens wipe in the field in Colorado, and it's still, there was so much sand and everything in there. It didn't work right after that. So if you have a semi-automatic, don't do that. I wouldn't recommend it. It won't work right after that until you clean it. But that was bad. You remember that one, Brady?
I do remember that one. It was like extremely nasty that day too.
Yeah, it was like snowing and stuff.
Ran out into a field and leaving your gun in the dirt, it gets pretty gross pretty quick, for sure.
Yeah.
Check.
Do you have a Sitka duck oven? Do you recommend it? I do have a Sitka duck oven, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to do quite a few different videos in the off season talking about like the Sitka stuff that I have and comparing it to other things. But if I had to choose between my Drake jacket and my Sitka jacket when I'm hunting, I would go with the Sitka jacket, mainly because, one, it's crazy warm and it's windproof, which is big for me. Wind is probably the number one killer when you're in the field because it just goes straight through anything and it'll chill you to the bone. But windproof is nice, and it's not bulky. It is just as warm, if not warmer, than my Drake jacket, and it is super slim, and you can layer more on top of it if you need to. And that's a big plus for me, is being able to have something super warm but not be puffy. Because if you're a marshmallow in a layout blind, it really doesn't work out that great.
Yep, I agree. I think Sitka's definitely worth the money too. Their,
Oh, definitely.
their camos look
Because that
good.
Drake jacket I have, the Drake jacket I have is just as much as the Sika jacket.
Oh yeah, and like those big like Cabellas jackets that are just made by Cabellas, they're just as expensive too. And I think if you're gonna spend that much money, might as well just get a Sika jacket. I want to get a Sika vest.
Which one?
Those ones are sweet. I don't know what it's called, but they're pretty cool.
Okay. What size shot do you use?
I wouldn't shoot anything other than 3.5 2-shot. If I'm shooting geese, definitely 3.5 2-shot
Really?
for sure. Or 1-shot if I can find it. I love 1-shot.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for me, I'm shooting 3-inch 2-shot at ducks and 3.5-inch double B's at geese. I tested this season and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and shoot 3-inch double B's and see how I like it.
Yeah.
And I could definitely notice a difference when I'm shooting geese when I'm shooting a 3-inch or a 3.5-inch. Like most people say, oh, you don't need 3.5-inch shells; they're a waste of money. They're for skybusters. But I can definitely tell a difference when I hit a bird with a 3-inch shell and I hit them with a 3.5-inch shell.
Yep.
And you know, you say what you want, but I like the 3.5-inch double B's when I'm killing geese.
Yep. I like 3.5 for sure. I could tell when I hit birds with a 3.5, but if I'm going duck, just 3-inch 4-shot. 3-inch 4-shot. Or Trenton Forbes, he says if he's where the birds are, if he's where the geese are, he'll shoot 2 3/4 4-shot.
I've done that before on some farm ponds.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a little small for me, but
Well, the thing is, last year at Walmart, they didn't have any other shells other than 2 3/4-inch 4-shot, and I needed shells for the next day. So I was like, well, I guess I'm shooting these tomorrow.
yep.
Yeah.
No, if it works, if you can kill birds, then go for it. But I don't really stray away from 3.5 2-shot.
What's the farthest shot you're comfortable with taking?
Oh. I like them in my face for sure, but if you know anything about goose or duck hunting, that sometimes doesn't really happen. So
Yeah.
you got to work with what you got. I won't take a shot further than 50, 60 yards, maybe. That's far.
That's far.
I'd say about 40 yards is max.
Yeah, for your third shell.
Yeah, for your third shell, yeah, I'd say about 40 yards.
You know, I'd say the farthest shot I'm comfortable with taking on after like they've been in the decoys and they're flying away. That's generally when you're taking your farthest shots. Probably 50 yards. I've made a few 50, 60-yard shots, and it's cool when you can do it, but that's nothing farther than that. You're just wasting shells.
Yep, I agree.
How many duck decoys do you run per spread? That depends over if it's over water or in a field. If it's on water, it really just kind of depends. It's anywhere between a dozen to 4 or 5 dozen.
Yep.
I think the max we've ran is probably 4 dozen decoys. So over water, 4 dozen decoys is probably as far as I go. But generally speaking, 2 to 3 is going to be just fine. In a field, if it's a duck field, I'm going to try and get as many duck decoys out there as I can. Luke bought 5 dozen mallard silhouettes, which I don't know. They're all right. They're not super great. I'd rather have full bodies out there. But as of this point, we got 6 dozen field decoys for mallards. So if we're on a good duck field, that's what we're going to do. But my personal opinion is goose decoys in the field make better duck decoys than a field duck decoy.
I agree 100%.
You think so?
You can have a giant goose spread when you're killing field ducks and one mojo in the kill zone, you're golden.
Yeah, if you don't have a mojo, you're screwed.
Yeah, ducks love geese, no doubt. So
yeah. So if you're setting up in a field and you've got nothing but full body goose decoys, don't be like, oh, I'm not going to be able to kill ducks. Set out the goose decoys just like a normal spread, but take your mojos and slap them in there, and you're going to be killing ducks. You don't need duck decoys to kill ducks.
I definitely think if you're gonna try to go on a field duck and goose hunt, I definitely have that mojo on a button though,
Yeah.
because yeah, some people think you can kill ducks or geese over a mojo, but I really don't think you can.
Well,
A lot of birds flare off of the mojo.
yeah, I agree. But the other day we had a single goose come in with the mojos on. I mean, it didn't land in the decoys or anything, but it came close enough to shoot, and we killed it.
Right.
I just that little bit of just comfort, just turn it off just in case.
Yeah.
And back in December, Luke bought this mojo tree thing for field ducks, and we put that out there. Even with the mojos off, the geese absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
They wanted nothing to do with our decoy spread with that tree out there. It was just like a satellite dish in the middle of the spread. So I'm not a fan of that if we're hunting geese.
Yeah. I've seen that thing, and it is enormous. I'm sure ducks chew it up, but I'm sure the geese would.
Oh, the ducks loved it.
Yeah, but I'm sure geese are shy of it.
Yeah, they hate it. Okay, Brady, would you rather hunt a field or water?
I'm a field guy for sure. I'm definitely more of a goose guy too, but yeah, I hunt ducks until I'm hunting geese. But I love field ducks and I love field geese. So 100% a field.
Yeah, I'd have to say I'd rather hunt a field than water any day of the week.
I hate being wet.
Yeah, I hate being wet and hate being cold.
Yeah.
We ended the season with we hunted the marsh one day and then the lake the next, and it was I could tell a difference between the temperature of like if I'm just in a field or if I'm next to the water.
Yeah.
It just feels so much colder next to the water, and I like the fields. I love the way the birds work in the fields, and if you can get on a good field, you will never go back to water hunting ever again.
I agree.
Especially honkers. If you can get a good honker feed, it gets weird.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I really want to do is hunt a river. I've never hunted a river before.
We have a river that goes right through my hometown, so we do a lot of river hunts. So those are fun, but that's one of the rare cases that you definitely 100% need a dog, because when that river gets flowing, you're not going to be able to go out there and get your birds. Because you drop a bird in the water, it's going to be gone.
Yeah. We getting any more questions here?
This guy says I only use mojos in the first split.
Yeah, over water. Generally about, at least for me, with the way our season's laid out, about December's about the time to turn them off inside over water. Just kind of how it goes. They catch onto them.
Yeah, I've been hunting in the field. I did my first water hunt in maybe 2 months last weekend, and we just didn't need a mojo. Like I feel like the mojo would have just flared every single bird that we had. So I definitely think after the split, you don't need that mojo in there.
Yeah. Do you have any goose floaters?
I don't. I hunt with Trevor. Trevor has some, but I don't personally have any.
Oh, this guy says, "Are you gonna hunt anymore?" Well, I've got until February 18th to kill geese, and we'll see what happens. It's kind of a busy time of year with school starting back up and everything. So, I mean, I'd like to get out and do another goose hunt before the season ends, but just gonna have to see what happens. Planning on definitely doing some turkey hunting in the spring, which is something that's very foreign to me. I've only turkey hunted a couple of times. I've never killed a turkey before, so it'll be an interesting time. I've got a spot picked out to where I want to go, and I've seen turkeys before, so just gonna have to wait and see. Maybe potentially snow goose hunt. Gonna have to see what happens. So,
yep,
that's kind of the plan for now. Other than that, it's gonna be a lot of reviews and how-to videos and tips and tactics, and just kind of the same old same off-season videos until the season starts back up again.
Yep, that's us too. We got 2 more weeks of goose season, and then we're about done. We're gonna be shooting a turkey in April and waiting until dove season. So,
Do you only get one turkey?
I believe so. Am I?
I know I can get. I believe I can. I can get two. I believe.
It's a good question. I don't know. I think you can only get one. I had a tag last year, and I'm pretty sure I could only shoot one.
Yeah, I know I can get two tags.
Oh, really? You might be able to. Oh, that's right. You can. You can get two tags. You can get one over the counter and one that you put in for. I believe that's how it works.
Oh, I can just go to the store and buy two tags right now.
Two over the counter?
Yeah,
Oh, really? I don't
yeah.
know if you can get more than one over the counter, but I know you could put in for one and you could get that one and you could still go buy your over the counter tag. So I know that for sure. Have you guys ever tried echo collars before?
It's an e-collar.
It says echo, so that's how I read
Oh,
it.
like an echo call?
I don't know if he means
Does he mean an e-collar or an echo collar? Or yeah, e-collar or an echo call?
well, I've tried both. So
What do you guys say?
e-collars are cool, but I don't know. They definitely work in snow goose season for sure. They're a must during conservation season. But echo calls I don't like. I do not like echo calls.
Really? I like echo calls. The
At
double,
most all
double read.
echo calls are double reads, aren't they? Aren't yours? Isn't yours a double read?
Yeah, I've got a double read
Oh,
echo insert in one of my calls, and I like it. I like the double read.
yeah, no doubt. But I don't know. I've never really like experienced an echo call. I had one. I think it was a meat hanger. Isn't that what it's called? Echo meat hanger.
I don't know.
I think that's what it's called. And I didn't really like it. I got rid of it. It's and echo calls are like timber calls mostly, and I don't hunt timber very often, so doesn't really
Very
apply.
often,
Yeah.
if at all.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to hunt timber, but I don't have any timber.
Yep.
I'd have to go to Arkansas for that or something.
You ever get wood ducks down in there in Kansas?
Um, yeah, but not like apparently you guys do in like South Carolina or something. You know, that's all you guys kill out there is wood ducks. I'm, I'd be surprised if we got wood ducks like that here. It'd be crazy. It's something I've never seen. We get a lot of mallards, a lot of geese,
Yep.
not a lot of wood ducks. I killed one wood duck this year.
Yep. We get the occasional one or two, but it's not a usual thing. It's not thick like our mallards are, so
Mallards are amazing ducks.
they
That's
are
for
amazing
sure.
ducks.
Let's see if we can get like one more good question in here than one to offer tonight.
Sounds good.
Anybody got a question for us?
A juicy, juicy question.
Just a nice juicy one to end it. Anybody?
I should comment.
Anybody?
Oh man.
While you're sitting there watching, you should leave this video a thumbs up. It means a lot.
This dude said, "How about duck commander? Have you ever tried a duck commander call?"
I might have blown one or two before, but I've never owned a duck commander call.
I've never blown one of their nice like acrylic calls.
Yeah, I know Lane had a duck commander call. It was more of a cut down call. I don't like cut down calls. Just my personal preference. I just not a fan of them. I'd rather just have a single read where I can really open up on it.
There's our last question.
What?
About big bulk decoy?
What's that?
He says, "What other goose decoys do you use besides Bulk Decoy Company?"
Oh, I use Bigfoot decoys, and then I also use some dive bomb silhouettes. And Luke has dive bomb Canada socks, and he's also got some Dakota mallards and some green head gear mallards. So that's for field decoys, but over water, my decoys that I only own a dozen floaters, and some of them are flambeau, some of them are tangle free, some of them are academy. I mean, they're all decoys, man. It
Yep.
don't matter. Just shoot them, shoot the
Yep.
ducks.
We run a little bit of everything for our goose spread for sure. We got avians, dive bombs, Bigfoots, and my buddy Trevor has 70 dozen. I forgot what kind of brand. I think it's called Silo Sock Company.
Yeah.
Socks. We got about 70 dozen of those, so we have a little bit of everything. But duck floaters, I have just green headgears. I have 7 dozen green headgears, and they work good. So I definitely like green headgear duck floaters. They look pretty good.
So I think we will end it on that. Be sure to check out Brady's channel. I'll leave it here for you guys so you guys can go and subscribe right there in the chat. Click there and it'll take you over there. So yeah, that's all we've got for today's live chat. We should be doing some more of these soon. Leave a thumbs up. Let me know that you guys liked it. And send me a message. Give us some topics to talk about in some future live streams. Kind of make them kind of like a podcast kind of deal. And I think it'll be a good time. But hope you guys enjoy this live stream, and I'll see you guys soon.